Welcome to Acropolis Alumni Podcast. Today, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Holkar, an esteemed alumnus of Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research, class of 2011. Sir has built a global career in the field of analytics and business intelligence with experiences in India, Singapore, and Canada. He pursued higher studies at National Institute of Singapore and has since worked in leading roles across industries. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kushagra. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. Sir, so my first question would be, how are you feeling being on this podcast today, reconnecting with Acropolis after so many years?
It's definitely a very good feeling. It brought back a lot of memories from my college days. Honored to be here and hoping that I can help at least one student out of it. Like they can seek some guidance or mentorship. So yeah,
Okay.
excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. And when you think back to your days at Acropolis, what kind of student were you and how do you remember those years?
Wow. So it's been almost 14 years since I've
Decade.
passed Acropolis. Yeah, so it's a long time. And when I think back what kind of student I was, I think I was a very shy, introvert, quiet student who liked to keep to himself. Uh, yeah, and those were definitely good formative years, I would say, and like helped me a lot in terms of exploring what I wanted to do in future. So, like definitely those were really good times, I would say.
Okay. And when you were studying at Acropolis, did you always know that you wanted to pursue higher studies abroad, or did that decision come later?
That decision came later. Like I did not want to pursue higher studies when I was doing my engineering, and that decision came when I was working at Mindtree, and I started as an ETL developer in the data and analytics team there. And while working on data, I explored that this is something I like a lot. Uh, we like when I joined Mindtree, they had a few different streams to
Mhm.
choose from. So one was like Java development, .NET development, data warehousing, uh, some other EC connections. So there were a total of five, six
Yeah.
streams to pick from, and then they took a test of like how much do you score in their internal test, and based on those scores, you if you score high enough, then you can pick whatever you want. So
Okay.
I got to choose like what I liked the most, and at that point, I thought, okay, I want to do coding, but I'm kind of okay in that, and let's explore the data field. So I started. I joined the data analytics team there. It was called DAS.
Mhm.
And surprisingly, I liked SQL and databases quite a lot. And after working like for more than an year, like I started to explore that. Okay, what do I want to do next? Like, is it an MBA that I want to pursue, or is it some master's degree that I wanted to do? And one thing led to the other, and I landed like an interview at the NUS. Like they were starting the business analytics, masters in business analytics course for the first time, and I even did not give any GRE or GMAT there. Uh, it was very surprising because of my background and my experience already in data analytics. Like they somehow selected me. I had some friends who was also trying to go into that same course and same university, but like I feel I was lucky that like due to my previous experience, I was able to go in.
Okay. Okay. And was there a particular moment in college that gave you the direction or confidence for your career ahead? Like a particular
Uh,
moment, pinpointing, if you want to pinpoint a particular moment in your college journey.
One thing that I would say, right, like is that gave me more boosted my confidence was the failures that came along the way, I would say. Like I like if I have to pinpoint like one moment, that was the day when we were all giving interviews for campus placement, and TCS came in. And I think during my year, like there were around 2000, no, not 2000, sorry, 225 students, and TCS took almost 160, 180 students got placed in TCS. And for some reason, I wasn't amongst one of them. And I felt very sad that, like, hey, what did I do wrong? Or like this gave me a lot of things to think about, that what are the skills that I'm lacking? Uh, what should I do to improve like myself? And that's when that hit me really hard. Like, and then Mindtree was the second company I applied to, and like it was an open campus role where more than 1,000 people had applied, like throughout Indore and outside of cities. So I would say like that taught me a lot, that no matter how hard life hits you, you kind of always get back up and think through that, hey, what happened? Of course, like you feel sad, you feel that why am I the one that didn't get selected or something of that sort. But that mantra, I would say, I've taken to life, right? Like even after outside that, like you'll be faced into scenarios or into things where you would face rejections, or you would face not the desired outcomes. But what helped me a lot was that attitude that, hey, no matter what, I need to start again. And that kind of mindset helped me quite a bit in my journey so far.
Okay, okay. So this attitude of never giving up, as you mentioned, was it present like from your school days? You were like this, or it developed like more gradually in college, like as the years passed on?
I
Where you
would
were,
say more during college days. There's a very interesting incident that happened. Like during my first year, like engineering drawing. I'm not sure if it's still
yeah,
being taught to.
it's a very tough subject.
so I was very good at it, and I used to teach a lot of my friends to practice and do that. And when the results came out for first semester, I did not pass it. Like the people who I taught all topped the class for some reason, and I did not pass it. So that kind of like nudged me to that direction, that yeah, things can go wrong. Luckily, I did not have to retest the exam. Like during reevaluation, I passed again, like with very good numbers. but but still, it kind of led me into thinking that that okay, life happens. You kind of take it and move it forward, right? Like I think even for a lot of students, like I had a lot of friends who were facing similar situations, right? Like so, not everyone was lucky to like pass in the evaluation results and whatnot. So you kind of like, okay, accept whatever happened. You're not good at it. You kind of improve and attempt. Like
Mhm.
like I think college is that time where you can fail a lot of times, right? Like in terms of trying new things, exploring out new directions, and still get up and do something.
Yeah, perfect. So I want to tap into your professional journey.
Mhm.
So as we know, like every career has its ups and downs.
Mhm.
Can you share one challenge you faced in your professional journey and how you overcame it?
Uh, so I would say, like, see, like in during my career, right? Like I've always had to deal with different technologies. So every
Yeah.
organization that you kind of switch to has its own tool stack, has its own way of doing things, right? Like someone will follow an agile methodology, someone will follow some like waterfall way, or it's sometimes it's more like a startup culture where like you are the one who's doing everything. There's no proper infrastructure, documentation, things of that sort. So you kind of have to adopt and learn to their ways, right? Like so like when I started, I was using like a tool called data stage and SQL. Then when I changed, like after my masters, I was expected to do some other SQL environment, database environment, have to learn new tools. And then I again switched to auto in general. Like it was a startup culture where I was the only one who was doing everything related to data and analytics, like setting up the BI infrastructure. So again, I had to relearn. So uh, that ability to learn new things, I think is something that challenges everyone, right? Like even right now, if I have to change roles, like it's not necessary that the same level tools, the same version of language that I'm working on will
Mhm.
be available into the other organization or the other team as well. So this is something that I think I continue to do, so that whenever you kind of jump, like it's something that okay, there is a downtime, like a few months where you are ramping up, you learn new things, and then you kind of continue forward.
Yeah. And so, like, the majority of students ask this question, like, how different is professional life compared to what people imagine as a student? Like they imagine very kind of negative things, like we will be confined to a cubicle, and our kind of like fear of missing out, like
Mhm.
that will happen the most.
Mm,
So, how different is professional life compared to what you imagined as a student?
to be honest, I did not have uh, a set framework or a set guideline of what it would look like in a professional world. Uh, but I would say it's very different, because again, right, like every organization works differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes like like it highly depends on like what the organizational HR policies are, or like it boils down to how your people manager is. Like one up from you is like if they can help you a lot, and they can make your life worse a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
so in that way, and like I think what differences happened is uh, like my first one like was I did not know anything, right? Like they taught us everything from writing up an email to talking and interacting with a group of people. So like you get to learn a lot during those initial
Mhm.
transitionary period. Like Mindtree had a very good training program for first 3 months. Like all you were doing is learning new tools, learning new technologies. So I'm not sure if companies today follow that same programs or not, but like those were very formative things that like whatever you learned in the 4 years in college, like in the next 3 months, you are kind of relearning everything. You're learning how to code, how to talk to people, how to interact with others, like how to document things, which we sometimes don't do in college, right? Like we live
Yeah.
in a very different environment there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so looking back, what habits or practices helped you most in handling deadlines? Like it's a common problem with, I think, with engineering students. Like they are very good at handling deadlines. So what was your approach to it? Like professionally, how do you do it? Like if you're back on schedule, or how do you compensate for it?
So there are two things to this, right? Like one is when you grow into your career, right? Like you won't have just one priority to do. Like you'll always have like 10 different things and 10 different
Mhm.
people and tasks to handle. So imagine this, like all five professors coming to you at the same time that, hey, I need this report in the X amount of time, right? So you kind of have to reprioritize first. Uh, and then talking about deadlines, right? Like I'll talk about that first. Is I read it somewhere initially. It's like they they call it eat the elephant, right? Like so elephant is like a huge thing, right? Like and
Yeah,
if I say to you that, hey, Kushagri, eat that elephant, you can't do it in one time itself, right? You'll
sure.
have to take like whatever X amount of time. So what I take it from that is, right, like you always break down a task into smaller chunks of whatever you can manage. So if I start a project with my stakeholders or business partners, I will talk and think through a plan that, hey, you know what do I need to accomplish this XYZ thing?
Hmm.
uh, what's the end result, right? Like you kind of document and talk through and think through everything. to break it down into smaller chunks. That okay, first thing I need to understand business requirements. Second thing I need to talk to them about development time. Third is like I need to get some access to data or explore the data or understand what the task is. Final is like I need to write my own test cases and things of that manner. So you break it down and then you assign uh, time to those particular things, right? Like okay, from based from what I know, okay, I'll take like 5 days to do first thing. Like it will take 2 weeks to do
Yeah.
the second task. It
Yeah.
will take 3 weeks to do, and then at the end you add all everything up. You add like 1 or 2 weeks of buffer to it, that because things are not perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like you always something or the other will go wrong, and then you tell that. So that's one thing about breaking one priority. But then let's say again, right, when the second part is like people are like there is not one team, right? There are multiple people or multiple partners that you're interacting with at any given point. So that's when you talk to your people leader, your manager, or your leadership team that, hey, I have A, B, and C things to do. Help me prioritize what's more important to you. Because as when you talk to your business partners, they'll also have to see that, okay, this saves me time, this saves me money, and this is like just a good to have improvement. So then, okay, what is like saving time or saving money? Okay, let's say for them the priority is to save money. Then your manager or some other person will help you in that journey. So again, that's where your manager comes plays into a very important role, that like if he is understanding and you have to convince them that yes, this is something that will be more beneficial. Let's start off with this first, then this we'll handle this, and then we'll handle that. So in terms of prioritization and deadlines, this is how you manage expectations of your stakeholders, right?
Okay. Okay. Sir, I recently had my operating system external. So speaking of deadlines, like, is there a problem of deadlock, like occurring, like deadlock is basically one process waits for another process to release
Hmm.
resources and they just like go in a circular loop. So does that
Hmm.
like happen professionally? And when that happens, like who becomes the savior? Kind of.
Mm, two steps to it, right? Like is like if you're waiting on something, you again, like in a professional world, you always have multiple things to work on. So you kind of pause that. Like for me, like what I do is like, hey, if I'm being blocked by someone else, I'll pick on something else. Like again, while communicating it to my partners that, okay, I can't proceed with it because of XYZ reason. One thing that comes into play here, right, is you keep the communication channel open. Like let's say if you're being delayed for something, you don't ghost them. You always keep them updated. If it's your client, if it's your business partner, you always keep that line open. That hey, I'm being blocked by blah 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 reason. Is it acceptable to you or not? So a lot of times what happens is two things. One is they'll say yes, okay, we can wait for a few more weeks until the resources are freed up.
Mm.
Or secondly is they will help you to free up that block process.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, because like as like sometimes like your leaders are more higher up in the chain, right? Like they have more pull that okay, if they know that the thing that you're working on is more critical, more important for the business, then they'll prioritize that for themselves also. They'll say that okay, what's blocking you? You need resources, you need compute power, you need more hardware, or you need more people. So let's free them up.
Yeah. So the key takeaway is to always keep your communication channels open.
Definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So looking back, what habits or practices helped you most, like in to handle uh, like work related stress, kind of when everything becomes too much, kind of a
Mhm.
burden, like you don't enjoy it anymore, it's kind of a burden to you. So how do you handle it? What are the practices that you have developed in these years to kind of handle this kind of situation?
Mm, that's a good question. I would say what works with me personally is having like a good work-life balance. Uh,
Yeah.
you you maintain good personal relationships. You maintain, like, when I say personal relationships, it's with your friends also, right? Like, I'm in Canada right now, and it's like when it's winters, everything is frozen. Like, there's 5, 6 feet of snow outside, so you can't just go out on a run or a walk or something.
Yeah.
You need to plan everything accordingly. So maintaining that friend circle is very, very important, that you constantly meet with your friends, you socialize, you talk to people. That kind of keeps you motivated there. And whenever you feel burnout, right, like, I always think through that, why am I feeling this, right? Like, why is it being a burden? Like, am I not being challenged enough, that okay, things have become boring? Or is it because that I'm not enjoying the team, or for whatever reason? Usually it's that like, you want to grow, right? Like, you want to earn more money, you want to
Hmm.
grow higher up into the organization. So you think through that, okay, in my career plan, I'm here right now. In order for me to progress to the next level, what do I need to do? Either I need to learn, I need to do some more things. So uh, again, right, like, you have, I constantly think from that perspective. So it's never a dull moment that, yeah, I'm being stuck right now, like, is boring. Like, it's always that, like, okay, I'm feeling that, I have that feeling. Let's explore something. Let's try to learn some new tool, some new language by yourself. So kind of keep you distracted, not distracted, and then, like, keep you
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah, perfect. And so you talked about adaptability and the ability to adapt to new things and new technologies. So
Mhm.
how do you personally stay like updated, or have you found out an like interesting set of steps, or should I say algorithm to kind of master new things uh, quickly, to switch quickly
Uh,
with
I
with
don't think there is a
yeah,
very good answer to things, like, pick up things quickly, right? Like, things take time to learn. If it's something entirely new, it will take time
yeah,
to learn, I would say.
definitely.
And, like, one key thing that has worked with me is discipline, right? Like, every day, you go in, like, spend half an hour, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
1 hour, whatever you can, right? Like, right now you're a student. Your only focus right now is, like, having fun, studying, thinking about the future. But once you grow professionally, personally, you'll have 100 different things to think about in life, right? Like, so you find whatever you time you can, and then, like, just focus on that half an hour in that studying or picking up that new thing. I think that's the thing. Like, some things are like, easier, you pick up naturally, like coding or something. But then some things are more difficult, like concepts about a new tool or new technology.
Yeah,
So yeah,
like
like,
this.
don't worry too much about like, picking up things quickly, right?
Like,
Like, that behavior will definitely change.
okay, so discipline and consistency.
Yes, yes, yeah, I would
Okay.
say.
And apart from technical knowledge, what qualities do you think are the most important for young graduates entering the workforce? Like now you've spent so many years in the like industry. When you see new graduates coming, what do you think they are lacking? Like the individualistic commonality between them. Like what are they lacking?
One thing I would say that I've experienced the most is communication skills. Uh, like, the ability to just have a regular conversation in English, or uh, yeah, I would say English is, like, the most common language, because if you're working in a multinational company, they all expect you to know that, right? Like, for me, I had to move to Bangalore, and uh, like, we did not have a common language to speak to. Because, like, a lot of my friends there were speaking Kannada and Telugu and other
Yeah,
languages, and, like, there were only a few people who were speaking Hindi. So you need to learn fast, right? Like, what helped me there, like, and what I used to do is, like, during the bus ride, right, like, from my home to college, it takes like 40, 45 minutes. I used to read books, right? I used to buy secondhand books, and I used to, like, just read them. That, like, helped me quite a bit, and kind of gave me a little bit of edge over my other colleagues and like my other friends at college as well. So like having good communication skills is really really important, and that's a skill that will like help you in your career throughout, right? Like even today, I see a lot of very good developers who like who you throw any challenge or any problem, they can solve it within minutes. But then when it comes to communicating, writing up emails, documenting things, they
Mhm.
lack a little bit there. So no matter how good you are, you also need to communicate and tell your partners, your managers, and your peers that yeah, this is the problem, this is how we would do it. So focus on that aspect, and then I think like definitely that's something that I feel a lot of people lack today.
Perfect. And so this is one of the most common questions that are
Mhm.
kind of students asking right now is uh, like one common dilemma that many students face is whether to go for higher studies immediately after
Mhm.
graduation or to first gain work experience and then pursue masters. Like based on your journey and observations, what would you advise students who are at this crossroads?
uh, I would say uh, like join an organization, gain some experience for a few years, and then go to do your master's degree. That like working in any organization, right, gives you a very different mindset, right? Like especially in Acropolis, if you see, right, like a lot of students are like, like staying with their parents, or like are local to Indore itself, or some of them are staying in hostels and whatnot. So you kind of gain a lot of perspective when you join an organization, especially big MNCs who have like properly defined policies. You get to learn a lot, and like maybe like 1 to 3 years of experience is a good enough time where you can understand a lot of things. You learn how to live life by yourself. You explore some things out, and at the same time save some money, right? Like because pursuing higher education is definitely it costs money.
Yeah.
So like ideally, you don't want to become a burden at your parents. That okay, now they've spent like 5-10 lakhs in fees for college. Again, you are asking them 50 lakh rupees to go to
Yeah.
pursue. Again, like I'm just making that number up, but
Yeah.
like so that you save some amount, you learn some few things about life, and then like you pursue higher course. That adds value. Uh, Second part to it, right, is uh, I used to interview a lot, and now I'm at a position where I'm also interviewing a lot of candidates coming. And like definitely those who have some prior years of experience, like will be a little bit better at everything when they join a professional degree, like a master's degree, because they
Yeah.
already have that uh, skills, like either coding skills, soft skills, management skills to talk to people and things like that. So it gives an edge when you are again like looking for a job after you pass and graduate from master's degree. So like from my own experiences, I would say that gain some experience first and then pursue a master's degree, especially if you're going abroad.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfectly summed, perfectly answered. And sir, now I just want to talk about your current role.
Mhm.
You have been working as business intelligence specialist at TD for the
Mhm.
past few years. For students who may not be familiar with this role, could you like explain what your responsibilities involve and what kind of impact your work creates in the organization?
Sure. So I work in the fraud team at TD, and like as a BI analyst or a BI specialist, what role, like what task I have to do is kind of interact with the business and generate some sort of reports or dashboards for them. And these reports, especially in the business intelligence sides, are more on based on historical data, as in what has already happened. So take it as an example that like you're running a store or uh, uh, like on a store, how many sales have happened in the last 1 year or 30 days or something of that sort. So like those are the kind of historical reports that I have to generate. And in that process, right? Like what happens is you first interact with your partners to understand what their needs are. Like, hey, I want to see a report which is like going back last 2 years, how many sales have happened, and how in like each month how much growth we are seeing, or is there a decline. Uh, you then have to wear a different hat on developing these reports. So when you say developing, the data can be very messy in some sort of an Excel or a CSV. You clean it up and load it into some sort of a data warehouse or database tables.
Mhm.
And then finally, you kind of use a visualization tool like Tableau, Power BI, ClickView to generate pretty visualization. So you'll develop some charts, uh, trends, you do some more analysis using those tools. So these are the three steps that happens uh, most of the time. And then like a final step that usually happens is once you have generated a report, you kind of uh, distribute it and explain those results to your partners that like, okay, like these are the trends that have happened. This is how you interpret it, that like based on what I see, this number has gone up or this number has gone down. So on a high level, this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. So for me in fraud department, I am supporting the US fraud team. So any fraud, let's say you as a customer, like any fraud happens on your credit card, like you will call the bank's customer care that like, hey, this is transaction I have not made. What happens? So like my responsibility is to create reports on top of it that okay, previous month we have had like so many millions of dollars of losses. This is how much we recovered. And like this is like X percentage, 10% more or like less than what we had previous month. So like I'll republish and regenerate those kinds of reports and analysis that this is how we are doing. That's first part of it. Second part is I'll generate some control or daily reports that um, uh, the team needs to work out on. Like again, like 10 customers have called to us, then like an agent needs to work on those 10 requests that to process them and fix them and whatnot. So
Okay.
this is my role in a nutshell. One good part about my role is I get to touch both the business side as well as on the tech side, right? Like I sit in a business team where I'm constantly talking to senior leaders and business partners who are involved in day-to-day business things, right? Like taking decisions on what tools to take or how which like what strategies to implement to fix certain types of losses or things of that manner. And I'm also involved in developing things where I am uh, like using Python, Power BI, Tableau to like build out reports and dashboards and things of that manner. So kind of a techno-functional role, but I do enjoy it quite a bit.
Okay. Okay. So it was a pleasure, like immense pleasure to talk to you. So, Mr. Holkar, thank you for sharing your inspiring journey and reflections. Before we close, uh, may I request you to leave one final message for students and young professionals listening to this podcast?
Mm. So firstly, like thank you, Kushagra, for having me here. It was my pleasure as well talking to you. Uh, as an end note, right? Like I just want to leave everyone with one message: is find mentors in your career. Right? Like as a student, everyone will have lots of questions, and in this digital age, right? Like it's very easy to find good amount or too much information about how to get better. But what has worked with me is finding a mentor who can personally talk to you and guide you in your career that, okay, at this point, this is what you should focus on, or this is what you can do, XYZ steps to improve. So to each and every one of you, right? Like I would say, find your mentors, and this is applicable to me even at like after 15 years in working. Is I always find mentors who are more senior than me, who are more successful than me, who are in the industry that I'm working in, and they'll guide me that what I need to do next and what can I do to improve myself, right? To to go one step above. So again, as you are students, like you are in a shell right now, you need to come out of it to join. And now with AI and everything going on along, like everyone needs to build on that skill sets very, very fast to be competitive in this market, right? So find those mentors, like use LinkedIn to its fullest extent. They reach out to people, reach out to alumni to talk to them that, hey, what do you do? Networking is something that will help you quite a bit there. So uh, I would say seek mentorship. It will help you in a long way in your career.
Okay. Sir, I'm gonna be selfish for one question.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of can I ask the question?
Sure, 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 yeah.
What do you think of AI? Like, what are the scopes of AI in your field, in business intelligence? What do you
Mhm.
think AI can be much better integrated at what node, at what part, so that your field can be widened and create more kind of exposure for young graduates and like as a whole?
So, so I would say use AI to augment things that you're already doing, right? Like, for instance, right, like you are drafting an email to some partner, or like maybe you're just drafting an email as a cover letter to apply for a job. You write down whatever you can, and then uh, like ask ChatGPT to formalize it for yourself. Like that's one way of using it. You've written out a code or something, and then you ask ChatGPT to either correct it or give you that high level insight. So it's integrated, and it's going to be integrated at each and every step of what I do. And like even for someone who's joining new, I think what you need to learn today is how to utilize AI. Like there
Yeah.
are a lot of AI models that are out for free today. So learn to use them. Like whatever coding, whatever things you're doing, just explore them out on how you can apply them.
Okay, okay. So thank you for answering that question. And that was Mr. Apoor Folkar reminding us that success is built on hard work, adaptability, and continuous growth. Thank you for listening to Acropolis Alumni Podcast. We wish you a great day ahead. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you so much.